Hey, thanks for clicking. My name is Joe Fritz, and I painted this Bulbasaur painting a few weeks back, and decided let's do some commentary on this. So I'll be linking to this commentary in the original video in case people want to watch this with commentary. I don't know. I kind of missed hearing my own voice, I guess. But we'll see how people like it. Maybe without commentary is the way to go, but I still kind of want to explain my process a little bit here. You can see here I was just playing around with different methods for making clouds. I was not doing a very good job. I was using some rubber gloves to try and like smear and make a sort of like oh, what's the word I'm looking for? That, you know, smeary type of clouds that are wind tossed. And I eventually just kind of gave up and just sort of sprayed just some misty clouds. You can see I'm doing some mountains here. This is all techniques I picked up by watching other people on the internet. Just the magazines, smearing, and a little bit of Bob Ross inspiration in there. That's kind of what inspired this whole piece. I was watching Bob Ross on Netflix and just sort of having some fun there. But yeah, just tried some different things to try and make the effect of the mountains there.
Who are you talking to?
The audience.
Nobody watches this stuff.
So I was trying different effects with to try to make these mountains. I ended up using a brush. Still trying to practice different techniques with the spray paint and stuff like that. Spray paint tends to blend really well if you don't let it dry first, which is kind of both good and bad because it means I have to take more time. There are people who like to light their paintings on fire to dry the layer of paint that they want to paint over. I don't want to do that. As you can see, my space is kind of is very contained, and I'm using like newspaper to try and minimize messes and whatnot. So yeah, I don't want to light anything on fire indoors. That's just not for me. I'm using I was trying to use the magazine to try to make like the lines of the clouds and stuff like that. I just ended up like scratching, which if you scratch on wet paint, spray paint especially, you're just going to get down to the white surface underneath, and that kind of helped make the clouds look a little better. Or I mean the mountains look like they had like veins of snow kind of coming down their craggy surfaces. And here, I mean, I just took a brush and basically just made that grass. I actually did two paintings like this, and one of them I tried to do like a layer of hills. So I had like 3 layers. I had the mountains, some hills, and then a tree line. But what I found out was that the Bulbasaur that was going to be in the painting was just going to be covering up the hills anyways, so I just said, screw it, let's just do some mountains and the tree line for this one. So this one ended up turning out the best, so this is the one I decided to make the video on. And you can see me kind of using a magazine page for a palette over there, and I'm just kind of grabbing some brown paint, and I'm just going to draw some straight lines. This is a technique that Bob Ross uses in all of his paintings. Just start with the trunk. Sometimes you can add some branches too, but I was just trying to do this quickly. And then you grab some dark color, maybe mix it with the brown a little bit, make it a little darker. You just kind of use your brush, and with tighter and tighter kind of circles, just make a happy little tree there. As BR used to say, just happy little trees. Just make whatever trees you want in your world. Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then once you've got the dark color there, you grab some of the lighter color and you just layer that on top. and you don't need to do shading, you don't need to do anything. Like, Bob Ross knew what he was doing. Let's just say that. He knew he had his technique down. Had a lot of practice. You can see me just kind of doing touch-ups on these trees. I don't really like the way that tree came out, but you know what? It's in the background. It's not that big a deal. And I think I go in maybe when the video is off and I kind of fix it a little bit. But yeah, like I said, this painting itself, I think, turned out the best. Maybe that's a different species of tree. It's just a lighter tree. Okay, and then we start putting down the pixels. And just like some of my other paintings you've seen on here, I try to start, when I'm doing like multiple layers like this, I try to start with the light colors first. You can see me putting down them coins just to help weigh down the stencil. I've tried using adhesive and stuff like that, but I found that I can't really rely on adhesive as much as I should be able to. Or maybe I'm using the wrong adhesive. If anybody knows the right adhesive I should be using, please let me know. But the adhesive wasn't very reliable, and as far as keeping the paint from seeping underneath, and it also left a residue on whatever it was on. So yeah, I'd have to clean off the residue after I would use it, which was a pain. I'd have to wait for the paint to dry and everything. So we did the white layer, now we're doing the black layer. And black layers, I usually end up doing 2 layers of black. The first one I tend to do lightly. I might make a liar out of myself here. I don't remember if my first layer was light or dark, but I tend to do the first one lightly. And basically just use it as a guideline for basically for the other stencils, to make it help me line up the other stencils correctly. And then once I've done all the other stencils, I will do another layer of black just to kind of make it stand out a little more. So yeah, I kind of dumped that on there. Made a liar out of myself. There I go, picking up all them coins. And I sped this up, but getting better at my video editing techniques and whatnot. I've learned to just kind of like piece together what I want first, and then speed that up as much as possible, and then just make that into a video, and then basically take that one video, speed it up even more until I get it down to 15 minutes, because that's the ideal time I want my videos to be. And then that will basically just I can speed it up more once it's a full video, because the fragmented videos will not speed up as much as I need them to, because sometimes they're super long, because sometimes I take a long time putting these stencils on. But yeah, as you can see, I love, as much fun as it is to make it pixel perfect, just like the game, I like to kind of use the stencils to do things that maybe the video game couldn't do. For instance, adding like little speckles and warts, because that's what Venusaur has. I hope I haven't been saying Bulbasaur before, because that's a mistake I make a lot. But yeah, Venusaur has kind of these warts and stuff all over his body, so I thought it'd be cool to just kind of speckle him a little bit. It didn't turn out as well as I hoped it would, but... And you can see, like, I made the leaves green too. The top layer of those top leaves are green, and then his body is kind of that teal color. And this is just me taking a brush, again, just using the magazine page as a palette, and just cleaning it up. And sometimes I have to mix colors together to make it look right, because, you know, I blend two colors together. You can kind of see like where the stencil was being held together on the black too. That's something I clean up at the end. But just, I either use a felt tip pen or a paint pen to clean that up. So we're moving on to the red. Now, like I said, this is all sped up, so you're only seeing this stuff edited together. In reality, I am taking time for these things to dry before I just throw another stencil on top. I don't know if you could see like a transition there or a fade, but basically I'm just watching this on a little monitor, and I think it doesn't quite give me all of the effects in the preview mode. So you can see here I just sprayed down some pink, and then I put a little bit of maroon on top of that to add some shadows, add some shadow effect, and then I sprayed a little bit of sprinkles, or a little bit of what is it, glitter paint on the flower part, just to make it look a little bit more fancy. And you can see a lot of white underneath there, so I end up using that magazine palette over there and cleaning it up some more. And the refrigerator came on, thank you. So yeah, you can just use the solid color. I usually just spray down some solid color and then spray down whatever the highlight color or shade color is right next to it, just so I can blend it, make it look right. Sometimes it's tricky, sometimes it doesn't quite look right, but I mean, it's a painting. Paintings, you can always fix a painting. Always fix it. You just paint right over the top of it if you need to. I did have a lot of trouble with this one, especially, you see that side of his face there that's white? I didn't like the way that looked. So you're gonna kind of see me, I might have edited out most of it, but you're gonna see me messing around with different things. So here I am using a yellow paint pen to fill in the center of that flower, because I didn't really need to make a whole stencil just for that. But I just thought the yellow looked nice. But you see, I played around with different ideas, using felt tip pens and stuff like that. Eventually, I just ended up using, just making a whole nother stencil. And I actually used this stencil a couple of times until I kind of figured out what I liked, as far as the colors. I think I originally tried like a lighter blue. Well, I tried the green up on the leaves. It's like a neon green for the highlights. And then I think I went with a lighter blue to start off with, but I really didn't like the way that looked, so I ended up adding a lighter green instead. And I think that turned out a lot better. So yeah, seeing it's not even really that much lighter, that blue. So put it back down, add a little bit of color to it. It's just too similar to the color that was there. I mean, it looked lighter to me, but once you get it on canvas, so add a little yellow there, make it stand out. And I think I even did something off camera to fix that even, so. But we'll be coming up on me blending a little bit more, making the outline a little better here soon. Yeah, so always save that first layer stencil, and then we put down the coinage, and then we spritzy spray it with some different, I usually use white. I think I use white toward the top around the trees, but I'd used yellow around where he's touching the grass and stuff. I could also add shadow. You see I use the white up top. Could also add shadow this way, like by maybe adding a darker color underneath, but I don't know, I just like him to stand out. I like him to look like he's glowing with power. So there you go. Looks like I went with like a really lighter blue on that, and you can see I've cleaned up a lot of the the parts where the black was coming through. Well, anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you get out there and make the world a more pixelated, beautiful place. All right, bye.